Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. Welcome to this episode of Am I the Asshole? Our first one is from Still Stormy. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter, who is facing homelessness, that only her and the baby can move in with me, not her husband? The husband has lived in their apartment for a number of years. The owners recently sold it and the new ones are moving in, so my daughter and her husband have to move. The problem is, rents have gone up dramatically. The rent they are paying is $1,100 for a one-bedroom, which I thought was a lot, but now that I'm trying to help them find a place, most are going for around $2,000 a month or more. They can't afford this. My daughter knows she's always welcome at home. Granted, a baby complicates things. I wasn't happy about her having a baby. She's young, just turned 22, but I would never deny her housing. However, I can't stand her husband. Let's just call him Aaron, for simplicity's sake. I wouldn't invite Aaron over for dinner, let alone let him live with me. Aaron's in his mid-30s, criminal history, hair-trigger temper, chronically immature, and has one hell of a jealous, possessive streak that have caused strain in their relationship, which I obviously do not approve of. Honestly, when she told me she was pregnant, I finally thought we'd be rid of Aaron. I genuinely thought he's the kind of man to ditch. They've been on and off over and over since she was about 18, 19. Alas, if anything, it made him cling to her tighter. They had a very rushed wedding, and this is their longest stint together without any breakups, just over a year. There's still been the fair share of dramatics, of course, but I am surprised they've made it this far. Even so, I simply don't want to live with Aaron. I don't like him. I don't want him around me. I'd go above and beyond for my daughter and the baby. They can stay as long as they need, but not him. Obviously, this has created a rift between my daughter and I. She doesn't want to live separately from Aaron. I told her then she needs to figure out alternative arrangements. Well, their move-out date is rapidly approaching, the 15th of December, and they've still not been able to find a place. And she's panicking. She's been begging me to let them stay. I reiterated my terms. Aaron simply cannot stay here. This led to a lot of tears and some angry words, namely me being an asshole. I can genuinely see why she might think that, but I also have to think about myself and my own sanity. First of all, you're not the asshole. What I'm picking up here is you've actually tried to give this guy a chance, but there's so many reasons why you dislike him, and they're all, quite frankly, very justified. Your daughter can get as mad as she wants, but I mean, if she wants a place to stay, if she's coming into your home, it's your home, your rules. She needs to respect that, or just accept what's gonna happen. This next one is by Help Me Please Ah. Am I the asshole for asking my boyfriend to not drink my coffee? My boyfriend and I go halves on groceries, but money is always quite tight. Sometimes I have more than him and vice versa, and that's fine. However, when it comes to coffee, he is a much bigger coffee drinker than me. I like the occasional coffee, but I might only have one a week, rather than one every day. I decided to buy some expensive coffee pods and knew that if I said that we went halves like we usually do, I would probably never get to drink them. So on this occasion, I told him that I was going to buy the expensive coffee pods for myself, so we were not going halves, but I didn't want him to drink them so that when I did want a coffee, I could enjoy the coffee myself. I said that if he did want some, he needed to tell me and give me whatever I bought that pod for, so it was fair. I explained that I couldn't afford to keep buying this particular coffee that I wanted at the rate I knew he could drink it. A few weeks later, I go to have my coffee and find that he had drunk most of it without telling me. I confront him and an argument ensues where he tells me that the coffee was fair game because I wasn't drinking it quickly enough, and that he thought I was being stupid by getting upset over it. He said that no normal person would take this long to drink coffee and that it's unreasonable for him to ask me every time he wants to use a coffee pod. I explained that if he wanted some, he could buy it himself, or we could go halves on some normal coffee, but that the coffee pods we currently had, I had bought for me. He told me that he wasn't going to do that and I should just get over it. So, am I the asshole? Edit. Regarding going halves, we essentially split the bills and groceries, but we don't keep score on how much we have of things because it tends to equal itself out, coffee being an outlier in this regard. Groceries and bills are paid from a joint account, which we pay equal amounts in too. The coffee I bought was paid out of my own account as I intended it to be only for me. Other normal coffee is usually available for him, which comes out of the shared budget. In my opinion, you're not the asshole, especially if it's pretty much established on how you guys split everything up. If that came out of just your money and he didn't contribute anything to it, I don't feel like he should be able to just get mad at you or even act the way he's acting when he's the one that drank something that you specifically asked him not to. And our final one is from Classic Audience 512. Am I the asshole for pointing out to my wife that my mother will never be her parent and she needs to stop? My mom, 64, is polite and, in general, keeps a distance away from my wife, 26. I know my wife has trouble with social interaction and they got off on a horrible start. My wife, I'm going to call her Lily, was in foster care and never had a parental figure, and she went hard into trying to become my mom's kid. I think it would have happened if my wife let the relationship grow naturally, but she didn't take any of my warnings and bulldozed what my mom wanted. A few examples: she kept calling her mom, even after she told her multiple times to call her by her name. Lily would make her uncomfortable, especially when she would ask my mom very personal questions or go way too deep. I have talked to her so many times, but she doesn't stop. The family has taken their concerns with me also and have straight up told her to stop. The biggest turning point was when my mom and her daughters, my sisters, went to visit deceased family member. It's a tradition between the three of them. Well, Lily heard about it and went. It went very poorly, and my sisters dislike Lily now also. We are invited to events and are still in the family, but the women of the family keep their distance. There's a girls' trip around Christmas, and she wasn't invited. This made my wife very upset and was ranting. I had enough when Lily said she was her kid. I snapped and told her, my mother will never be her mom and you need to stop. She ended up crying and now I feel guilty. I just don't know how to get it through her head that she needs to stop. I've talked with her so many times and she is already in therapy. Sometimes people just need to be told very bluntly exactly how it is, and it just seems like your wife might be one of those kinds of people. I don't think you, your mom, or any of the family members are an asshole for basically telling her exactly what she needs to hear to hopefully make it get through her head. Alright, that's enough stories for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Am I the Asshole? If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.